2, 1.
Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to KSAT News Now. Thanks for starting your work week with us as we get set for what should be a couple fun days coming up. Got Fiesta starting up later this week. Very excited. Yeah, very excited.
How many medals do you have?
Oh,
right now?
I have about 2 or 3. Yeah, so I'm looking to stock up here over the next few days.
Wink,
yeah.
wink.
Exactly. So if you see me out and about, yeah, I will take some medals, definitely.
But are you gonna have some medals?
I'm gonna have some medals too. Yeah.
Wasn't it 2 years ago that you had like that big bag? You were over at La Villa.
Gone within like 10 minutes at the most.
Of course.
Yeah,
Everybody
people love
wants
it.
medals.
Yeah, definitely. So KSAT News Now is of course streaming on all of our platforms, KSAT Plus. We also have the pod going on and big podcasting thing that we have going on here Monday through Friday. So you could check that out after today's episode.
All right. So Monday this morning, we will of course get to the Oscars moment seen around the world between Will Smith and Chris Rock. That's left so many with questions and then a lot of emotions and confusion on what really went on. The big question was it scripted? Definitely not scripted there.
I don't think it was scripted, but yeah, we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. And we're also going to be talking about some of the positives from the show, a lot of groundbreaking winners from the Oscars. And of course, we have the latest on a White House push to tax the super rich. So we'll explain that.
Super duper
rich. Super duper rich, yeah.
But first, the latest on the wildfires in Medina County. I got some questions about this over the weekend, and it's just hard to believe that this is in our area, but it's something that, you know, we've been talking about, how, you know, the drought, the winds, and it's not a good combo. So in Medina County, over 1,000 acres and 3 homes so far destroyed by a large wildfire that sparked over the weekend. The damage has also led to Governor Greg Abbott issuing a disaster declaration and people, of course, having to evacuate their homes.
That's right. According to Governor Abbott, currently 119 homes are without power, either due to fire damages to the homes or damage to the power lines, and the flames are about 50% contained. Obviously, fire crews working on that. Fortunately, at this hour, there have been no injuries or deaths to report.
So this first began Friday, and it's possibly due to a vehicle fire. Since then, 19 agencies from areas all over the state have been helping over the last few days, and that work continues today.
Absolutely. Fire officials are urging residents to have a go bag ready in their vehicle or by the exit of their home in case they have to evacuate suddenly. There's also a temporary shelter in Helotes for those displaced due to the wildfire. That's at Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church, located at 13715 Riggs Road.
So it's not just in our area. These wildfires are affecting people across the state, from Amarillo down to Kennedy County. That's in the Rio Grande Valley. According to the Texas Wildfire Incidents Response System online, as of this morning, they have responded to nearly 70 wildfires across the state. Most of them are contained, and really only about 10 to 12 remain active right now.
Yeah, and that's something that I know Justin and I had talked about earlier this morning. It's not only in Medina County, but there are a lot of wildfires across the state right now, and just that combination of high winds, something sparks, and it spreads so fast.
It does. And we've been in a drought, guys. I mean, the lack of rainfall has been really, really bad. And then you put the gusty winds and the dry air on top of that. It's just a bad combination. Here's the good news. We've got more moisture, more humidity today. That's going to help us out. That's not to say that we're not going to see these fires spread a little bit more, but I think we're going to start to maybe get a handle on some of them. I want to show you where the biggest fires are right now. We've got a couple in our area. The Dos Goat fire, which you just looked at there in Medina County, 50% contained. We're not looking at a smoke plume anymore from that, so that's good. And you have the West Nueces fire there in Kinney County. It's 0% contained. So there will be a smoke plume today. As long as that fire is still going, you'll see that smoke plume rise into parts of Edwards County and then further north towards the San Angelo area. And then we have the Crooked Creek fire in Kerr County. That's 90% contained, so in better shape there. My hope is that with this added humidity, that again, we can get some of these fires to go away. Now, that being said, as we get into Wednesday, we're going to see more wind, more dry air, and the concerns for wildfires will return to the forecast. So let's see here. We're going to go to the next weather graphic, if it'll work. Give me just a second, guys. Let me go see if I can jar my computer to work here.
As Justin walks back there, I know that we've been reporting on this over the weekend. Actually, Stefania Jimenez is going to be up there reporting from these wildfires in Medina County over the next, for our news at noon and throughout the rest of the day. But just think about the residents having to really kind of be on edge here. There was one resident I know that we spoke to over the weekend that basically said that his elderly father-in-law had to be rescued by Medina County deputies. Such a scary scene out there.
And it can happen at any moment, but the good news, you said the humidity.
Yes, sorry about that. Technical errors. We're back. Yes, humidity, you're right. This is the good news. These dew points are coming up. So when you get a dew point around 60, that's more the muggy territory. That's right where you want to be, in this situation, because we've had those dew points in the 20s and 30s, and that's what really fuels these fires. So as long as we have humidity around, that is going to go a long way into helping us. The flip side to that is we still got gusty winds, gusting to 21 miles per hour, gusting to 32 in New Braunfels, gusting to 18 in Kerrville. And these winds today are going to gust 20 to 25, maybe up to 30. So that's why there's still a red flag warning in place. Not so much because of the dry air, but because of those gusty winds. We can still see these fires spread rapidly, and there still could be some gusts 20 to 25, as we said. By tomorrow, there is a chance for rain, and we're hoping that we'll at least get some decent rain out of this, although it doesn't look great. Before we jump into that forecast, I do need to pass along too, not only is there a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere, but we've also got oak. Jumped up today, 1,850. It is oak season. Your cars are going to start to turn that yellowy green color, so just get ready for that. Okay, here's our futurecast. As we go forward in time here, we're going to get some more clouds coming up tomorrow morning, maybe some drizzle, a little bit. Don't expect a lot. And then clouds stick around for quite a while tomorrow. Before we get that chance of rain coming in. And I think as we fast forward to midnight, it's going to be between midnight and sunrise on Wednesday that we see our chance of rain. And it's going to be a broken line of showers, maybe a storm. It's going to sort of limp in here. This is 6 a.m. Wednesday. So the chances aren't great. There could be 1 or 2 strong storms, although I don't anticipate a lot of severe weather. And then it moves out, and there are those gusty winds and dry air that we get on Wednesday. So the extended forecast here, 30% chance of rain, gusty winds Wednesday. Fiesta begins Thursday. We're going to get RJ some more medals, 84.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
And then 85 Friday, and then 86 Saturday, 83 Sunday. Hey, I did not watch the Oscars last night. What did I miss?
Oh, boy.
Did something happen?
Just a bunch of drama.
Well, Justin, you're at the
can you
right
believe
place,
this?
man, because we're about to
An
break some of this
assault
down.
at the Oscars.
I heard something. See what
Yes.
you guys have to say about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That story coming up in just a bit, but thank you
to
very
talk
much,
about there.
Justin, for giving us
We're
updates
centered.
as
There
we move
go.
our table around. Okay, Alicia, switching to some other news before we get to some of this Oscar stuff. Have you heard about the billionaire minimum income tax?
All right, hold on.
She's still
Pushing the
trying to
desk
get
there.
the desk.
Yes, I have. This is the tax for the super duper duper rich.
That's right. So a minimum income tax on the super rich, and it is expected that today the White House will unveil its plans to push for this change.
So the tax applies to households worth more than $100 million. And under this proposal, they'd have to pay at least 20% on their full income, including unrealized investment income. The White House said, quote, "This minimum tax would make sure that the wealthiest Americans no longer pay a tax rate lower than teachers and firefighters," end quote.
Yes, and those households that already pay 20% on standard taxable income and unrealized income would not owe additional taxes. The White House estimates that over the next decade, this billionaire tax alone could reduce the national deficit by $360 billion.
Sources say the additional revenue could help fund green energy programs and lower the cost of prescription drugs ahead of the midterm elections. The billionaire tax is part of President Joe Biden's budget proposal for the 2023 fiscal year, which is set to be released today. So we're going to be learning more about that.
Yeah, we'll see if this gets passed. I know in the past, Democrats have tried to do something like this, and that had ultimately failed. So this will be interesting to see if they're able to push this through.
Yeah. So over the weekend, a huge loss for the music artist industry, and we're talking about the drummer for the Foo Fighters, who's just known worldwide.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he passed away at 50 years old over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, just a personal note, I mean, I've been a huge fan of the Foo Fighters for a long time, since Dave Grohl started this band, but of course we were talking about Taylor Hawkins here. So the band announced his death on Friday. They were on tour in South America and actually set to play and perform in Colombia.
So it's Colombian officials who are taking over this investigation. Emergency responders received a report on Friday night about a patient with chest pain at a hotel. They arrived, and it was to the hotel room of Taylor Hawkins, but unfortunately it was just too late. They could not resuscitate him.
Yes, and the cause of death has not been released at the moment, but a preliminary report has, and in it medical officials said that a toxicology test found 10 substances including THC, antidepressants, and opioids.
Hawkins was 50 years old. He's married, has, I believe, 2 children. He'd been with the Foo Fighters for about 25 years, and of course, his death just shocking fans and fellow musicians around the world. And he's known as one of the best drummers. And this, when I found out about it, it was Friday evening, and it was just one, of course, a death, shocking, a celebrity this big, you know, and then to hear the stories of fans, how they had interacted with him at his concerts, just everything. It's just overall super.
Yeah, definitely a beloved individual in the rock and roll community. And as someone, I mean, you know, I grew up with rock music. Again, big Foo Fighters fan after Dave Grohl left, and I was a big Nirvana fan at the time too. And they, to me, are one of the iconic bands that are still performing, still putting out really good rock music. And so this has been just, yeah, it's just devastating, like you said, for his family, for fans, and other people in the industry to hear about this loss. So young, too.
And then the fact that they were on tour.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, you know, I was out with some friends, they were mentioning the fact that, like, you're on tour, they were probably waiting on him. And then nothing came of that, you know, and finding out in that way, again, just, can you imagine the people who had purchased tickets too, just the shock and the confusion when it comes to that. But of course, his family most affected right now, and his bandmates.
Yeah, and we will continue to see what else develops from that very sad case there. So, Alicia, another story, obviously, that has still shocked many people today, this morning. It's what a lot of people in our newsroom are talking about, the Oscars moment that unfortunately overshadowed many big wins. Will Smith assaulting comedian Chris Rock on stage.
So this, you've probably seen the videos, but let's break it down. This happened while presenting the Best Documentary Award. Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. She has a shaved head, and Jada, of course, is Will Smith's wife. She has talked about how she has dealt with her hair loss because of a condition, and this joke just didn't sit well.
It definitely did not. So yeah, that's an alopecia and autoimmune disorder that leads to hair loss there. So Will Smith, initially, and I was watching this too, I thought he kind of was taking the joke in stride, because Chris Rock had said...
Well, this was right after, but yeah, you see him laugh, smile.
Right, because Chris Rock had even said a joke prior to that about Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, saying that, oh, hopefully Will Smith wins for King Richard, or else Penelope's going to be upset with Javier Bardem if he wins. So it looked like Will Smith was laughing about all this stuff. Chris Rock made that joke, and then we see Will Smith walk up to the stage and hit Chris Rock right in the face.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so there's that moment there. Tough for many to watch, especially those who have dealt with violence in their lives. Going back to what happened right before, so we talked about Will Smith, you know, laughing, seeming to get the joke, I guess. But if you look closely, and we've all analyzed this video, Jada was not happy. You see her roll her eyes and kind of just clasp her hands. And then the camera cuts away to Chris Rock, so it was probably in that moment that Will Smith realized that his wife was offended.
And Chris Rock had made a joke about Jada Smith when he hosted, I think, in 2016, 2017. So maybe there were some lingering effects to that. But this is when things got really confusing, because after
Jada, I love you.
The incident,
G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Will Smith did go back to his seat. He had some explicit language for Chris Rock, as really the entire theater just was shocked and went silent.
So another thing that I want to talk about before we get to this point here about what Will Smith won, you know, the fact that he had people, so Will Smith is the aggressor, yet he had Denzel and I think Bradley Cooper,
Tyler Perry.
I think P. Diddy was there too.
Right.
Consoling him.
Tyler Perry as well. Yeah.
And, you know, like giving him a hug and
Right.
telling him to brush it off.
Yeah.
And you can literally see video that's circulating on Twitter of them, you know, literally brushing him off. So
This was
there
during
were
the commercial break.
Yes,
Yeah,
and there, you know, there were tears later. So Smith later won Best Actor for his role in King Richard, and it is really sad to see that he himself pretty much ruined this night for himself. He did apologize. It was in a tearful speech and said he hopes the Academy welcomes him back. Still, no announcement on that.
Yeah, and the Academy did later tweet out a statement saying that it, quote, does not condone violence of any form, end quote. And I thought you brought up a great point because I don't know what compelled Will Smith to do this in this moment. I mean, obviously, he talked in that speech about being a protector for his wife, for his family. I think, I mean, for whatever reason he felt in that moment, he had to do it. But you said something earlier, it just completely overshadowed everything else that happened, including Will Smith's own win. He has been going for this for 30 years. And now this is all that people can talk about, is him just losing control.
On a world stage.
On a world stage. And just, I mean, I don't know. There's just so many layers to this.
His actions reiterate what we see so much and hear so much. This twisted idea that love and aggression go hand in hand, that if someone speaks negatively of my family, that I need to respond with physical, with violence. And it just, that is not okay in any way. And it's just unfortunate that it played out again on a world stage where everyone was watching. It's just...
Yeah, cannot condone violence of any sorts like that. Now, he could have maybe during that commercial break, maybe pulled Chris Rock aside and had a conversation with him.
Like a human.
Talk it out with him, but to go up there and do that on this international stage was... and there's some people maybe thinking that this was a stage thing. I don't think it was, but...
No, it wasn't. I mean, LAPD has already, on their part, said Chris Rock decided not to press charges. So no, that is confirmed. It was not staged. This was a violent reaction on Will Smith's part towards Chris Rock after a joke. Was the joke okay? Probably not. Unfortunately, it is part of Chris Rock's job.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, yeah, he definitely doesn't hold back when it comes to him hosting, and he's been experienced in this role too, hosting the Oscars, and I think that's why. I mean, I guess in some weird alternate universe, Chris Rock could have gone after him some more, but he kind of kept his cool in that moment after being hit on live TV and just kind of moved the show along. So I guess for Chris Rock, you know, credit to him for having some composure there. It's just a unfortunate situation just all the way around.
Wrong on all sides. All right, but of course, there were some positive highlights from the Oscars. It was a big night. The night's most awarded movie was Dune, which won in 6 categories, including cinematography and design and production design.
Yeah, very cool there. I need to finish watching Dune. I actually watched a little bit of it. Need to get back to it. Coda. This was a huge win here. An Apple TV film original that has predominantly a deaf cast won last night. Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Adapted Screenplay.
And one of those
Tony
actors?
Kotzer. Yeah, Tony Kotzer, he was one of the winners there. He was from Coda, and he gave a very emotional speech. And so just a great night for that cast and that entire crew. You could see him on people that are watching us on the visual platforms.
This is so awesome. And then, as expected, Ariana DeBose, is that how you pronounce her last name?
Yeah, DeBose, yeah.
DeBose. Well, she won for Best Supporting Actress for her famous character in West Side Story, that's Anita. Her win also puts her as the first Afro-Latina and openly LGBTQ actor to win in this category.
Yeah, very cool. And another big winner, Encanto, won for Best Animated Feature, and we got to see some of the cast there also perform, what's the Bruno song?
We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
Okay, producer Alex is filling in today, and she's like, we don't talk about Bruno.
What
you go back and rewatch that
Okay,
one
so
too.
there were some people who were upset about this, right? Wasn't Megan Thee Stallion also part of the performance?
It was kind of,
Encanto? Yeah, we have some head nods here in the
She did like a rap in between it, so I think it was a little bit of a remix. Yeah, some people were not feeling it for sure, because that's obviously been such a pretty popular song throughout the entire year. But Megan Thee Stallion, look at her doing the most.
Hold on, again, I think I've already asked you this. Have you watched Encanto?
I've
Clearly
watched it.
not, if you don't even know. We don't talk about Bruno.
I've seen like the first half of it, and then I kind of dozed off the rest of it. It's a great movie for me. here.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Wanted to also point out something here. This actor, a Mexican actor,
This legend. Hold on, let's backtrack there.
Eugenio Derbez.
Ay, Dios mío. Here, I'll help you out. Okay, so there is this Mexican comedian who is a legend, Eugenio Derbez.
Okay,
And it's so amazing. This is so exciting because he has crossed over from the world of TV in Mexico, Latin America, to Hollywood. This is huge. A crossover like that, not many can accomplish. So this was a big night for him.
Absolutely. So yes, and this is someone that my mom, my grandmother, we used to watch his shows all the time when he first started out in Mexican TV, and he was a comedian. And again, just the fact that he's been able to cross over. So he tweeted out yesterday, he said, "Viva Mexico, tonight the winner was inclusion. Long live the art of cinema. Coda has proven that you can always make history even without big names or a big budget by putting all your heart into it."
Yes.
Awesome.
So Derbez, he's a Mexican actor, also a screenwriter and producer. And he's just truly taken a really important place. Again, this is just worth reiterating, from Spanish language TV to Hollywood. That is just huge. And of course, put Mexico on the map, and that's very exciting to see.
I grew up watching him with my grandparents and also my mom. Always just had him in the background. I always just was like, oh yeah, there he is. There he is. There's that guy. So good stuff there from him.
So with this film, he also won big earlier this year, and that was with the SAG Awards. So he's just doing great things.
Doing the most, as we like to say here. And that's what we're doing here at KSAT News Now. And again, we thank everyone that was able to be with us on this very busy Monday. Obviously, a lot of reaction to everything that happened with the Oscars last night. And of course, we're going to continue to follow everything going on in Medina County.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, we'll be focusing more on the Oscars reaction to that whole ordeal on my end. So we'll have more on that later on in our newscast. For these stories that we talked about and more, you can head over to KSAT.com. For the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Have a great day.